What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but everything just froze, and it looks like I was in the middle of something. The way it froze, it was a crazy looking reaction there. But I'm gonna let it load for a while. Let's talk about some boxing going live. Let me set my notifications here to let everybody know that I am live because, for whatever reason, YouTube doesn't show notifications. A lot of people are getting the same type of complaints from YouTube that they're not really sending notifications out to let you guys know that we're on. Let me change this mirror next. There we go. All right, that's better. Everybody, when you come in, hit the like button. Let's talk about some boxing. You notice the thumbnail. We have the old Warriors, Ali and Frazier. Back when they were still above ground. Carlos, what's up, brother? Thank you, man. It's good to be back, man. I'm coming to Waco pretty soon. I might come down there this weekend. You know, maybe not. Depends on because we start Friday. So, but yeah, I might be down that way. BJ Ben, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. David Woods. Man, everything's good. Glad to see you back. Thank you. Absolutely, man. I'll probably come down there maybe Saturday. You know, we can't see your face. Okay, you can't see my face? Does people have problems seeing me? Triple with fries, man. Love it. You know what I mean? I got a rule. Never go anywhere when you're starving and get something new. You always know what you want when you have a craving or you're in hunger. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is on. Live boxing. Tyrone McKenna versus O'Hara Davis. MTK Global contract. Nice. I'll take that. I'll check it out. I wonder if there's an app, though. I think apps should be more in abundance these days to make sure we have shit. Boxing Finesse. What's up, brother? CP Boxing. Absolutely. Counterpunch Boxing. You guys like the face mask? Haha. Big counterpunch to you. Glad to see you in there. Can't see your face. Nobody can see my face? What's going on? Keep up the good work. Conor versus Manny. How quick do you see Manny getting rid of Conor out there? You the man, Kurt. Appreciate it, Zen King. I don't know. If anything, I would guess late. Because Conor, yeah, you can see me good. You know, because a lot of people saying they can't see me. Arizism, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Greg Reed, can you see my face now? Let me know something. Give me some feedback. Skrilla 50, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Need a mask to just... Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll get something done, man. I'll more than likely I'll bring it down. You know, but yeah, we got some new masks at work because I had to go by the studio today, and yeah, they're fire. So you'll see me with that shits on, especially when I counterpunch from wherever I'm at. Especially I'm all set. So yeah, there's some bond. Ain't that cheap shit either. So that's good. You come with a mask? I don't know. I'm gonna come with this mask, only without looking at the chat. How's the Deep South treating you, bro? Austin's not bad. I mean, it's laid back here. It's not like Houston or Dallas. Austin has like a totally different vibe by itself. So it's cool. You know, I can't just I miss eating crab legs and stuff like that, you know, back home in Louisiana. So that's the only thing. What's your take on boxing ego? Still pushing the narrative of glove gate. Oh, he's still pushing it? Don't worry. I'll counterpunch his ass pretty soon. I'll take a look at it and tell you what I think. Because I haven't looked at any of those channels. I've been too busy worrying about my own 2 channels to be fucking around with those guys right now. But you know, I'm back, so it's time to do exactly what I've been doing. But you know what? More. You know what I mean? More of the same. More of the same. Absolutely more of the same. You know, because I feel that there's a yin and the yang to everything, right? And David, I think that if you have dark, you got to have light. So it got to be a balance. You got to balance that shit out. So if they're saying something that they don't know shit about, I'm going to say something that I do know about. I'm going to do the opposite. You know, especially if it's wrong. If it's wrong, you know, if I agree with it, I'll just agree with it. You know, my counterpunch, my opinion, is I agree with some things or certain things, but that I don't. So, and they will see why, and they will, you know, we will all find out when the time is right. Not, you know, pushing, peddling, pandering. Because that's all they're doing. I mean, the people over there that want to hear that shit, they're going to listen to it. Preach! Like you're in church, you know? They want that shit preached to them. So if they want it, that's where they go. You want to hear truth? People come over here. What do you think Charlo fights this past weekend? What did I think about them? I think they were good. I think Jamal did a really good job. He showed that he's ready for the middleweight division. Everybody, Lord knows he's big enough. That's a big boy, man. The only object boxing channel that I know, Counterpunch. Welcome back. Thank you. Is it Taiwo? Thank you, Taiwo. Dante Wilder and his fan base don't have a leg to stand on. Chris Serrano, Ice Cube is back. Yay! Lady Chan, do you think Eddie talks too much for Joshua? I think Eddie Hearn talks. Eddie Hearn talks a lot. Too much. I think he can be, you know, a little bit over the top at sometimes. But let me tell you something about him. The same reason Eddie Hearn talks too much is the same reason that he gets a lot of exposure, and that's why he's successful. You know, so he's definitely an extrovert. He's not a guy that, Kurt, they're hating on you, bro. Who's hating on me? Give me details, Greg. What's happening? But I think Eddie Hearn is the guy that he keeps himself out there, so he stays relevant. Eddie Hearn is talking too much for Dillian White right now. Not now discrediting Povetkin's knockout. Yep, just did a video on it, calling it a 1 in a million chance. That's bullshit. That is not a 1 in a million chance of that punch landing. And I hope Dillian White don't believe the hype, because if he does, he's gonna get knocked out once again. You know, and that shit ain't gonna be pretty either, because that's a hard blow to come back from. He already lost what he's fought so hard to get, the poor bastard. You know, that's very bad. Very unfortunate. I feel bad for him. But and if he loses again, that's what we have. I mean, that's shit. You know, he's lost to Povetkin, a 40-plus-year-old. Curtis, my brother, where we find you today? Where we find you today, it sounds rather moist. What? Okay. No, man, I'm out on the balcony, just, you know, enjoying this beautiful day. Enjoying the days that I have left not to work. Heard that body punch on Rosario was suspect. Partially blocked and still had the effect. I don't know, man. Ghetto love. I don't know either. But, you know, of course, I say this shit. I'm hating on Charlo. I'm hating on PBC and all that. I bought the fucking thing. I'm supporting PBC. I support ESPN. I support the Zone. I'm a boxing fan. You know, but, you know, if I say it, it's an agenda, you hate PBC, you hate black fighters. No, the fuck I don't. Said I had it, you know, like, you get that. So, you know. So if people think you have an agenda, that's where they can place you. You know what I mean? Leroy Roots, welcome back to where it started, Kurt. Happy you got your original channel back, man. Greetings from the UK. Hell yeah. It's glad to be back, man. It's good to be back. Louis, Dave Hill, Kurt, you're the man. I try to be. WBC make their own rules in regard to mandatory status. Michael Buffer, they do. They don't give a shit. They'll make belts, take belts, give positions, take away positions. You know. Counterpunch back in business. Yes, sir. Good to have you back. HR. Man, I'm glad to be back, man. Glad to be back enjoying this day. Reese says there's no mandatory for the WBC now. He didn't even say there would be a mandate after Prevec and White, so I'm confused. Don't be confused. He's just full of shit. Like you say, he's a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. That's what he is. That's all he is. Mauricio is a liar. You know, and a lot of people don't, you know, they don't like how he handled most shit. But see, you have to understand something about Mauricio and how people viewed Mauricio, okay? Wilder and his team was cool with Mauricio when he was backing that, when it benefited them. Didn't make the shit right. But then now they can clearly see, yo, Mauricio's full of shit too. Now they see it. Now it's a problem. You see what I mean? What's the topic? Random. It's random. It's various topics, bro. Various topics. Cold over there. I predict Dillian White is going to smoke Povetkin in the rematch. He better smoke him. He ain't got no choice. You know, this is definitely a derailment. Schmandatories. WBC does schmandatories. Kevin Pile. Yeah, Pile. What's up, Kurt? What's your thoughts on the WBC ranking of Dillian White, considered he has a rematch in November and the lead time for his shot at the heavyweight champion? He ain't got a shot anymore, man. It's over. I don't think he ever had one, honestly. Have you ever shouted out any fighters from the UK to interview? Sure, Mr. Spence here could hook you up. Yeah. Actually, I just talked to him, and we're gonna start covering some ESPN stuff because he's on the ESPN lineup, and we're gonna cover those fights. So yeah, definitely. In the near future, you could have got KSI to get your channel back quicker. YouTube can. Oh, yeah. KSI, yeah, you can bring him on. Have you seen PBC's post about best lightweight? Didn't show Haney, Teofimo Arlon, and called Tank and Fortuna world champions. Yeah, you know why they did that though? It's the obvious, because those are PBC fighters. It's just, that's easy to understand. They're not going to give credit. See, when you have networks that don't even give credit to other fighters and other networks, knowing the other fighters' credibility and what they are able to accomplish. Like, look what they did to Bud Crawford. They had Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, and Sean Porter. Now, this is back before Sean Porter fought Errol Spence for the unification. But then that's the only thing. They didn't even have the WBO at all. So that shows that disrespect or disregard of other fighters and other networks' credibility. It's just a network thing. You know, it's like Bloods and Crips and shit like that. It's tribalism. You know, they're not even, looking at other fighters, which is biased. And being biased like that is so one-sided. So if you only watch PBC, you wouldn't know shit about the other fighters from ESPN and what they're capable of doing and what their attributes were, because they don't even cover that. It's crazy. It's not right. Psycho Crusher. Third, I'm glad to see your original thumbnail show up in my notification again. Yep. You missed the lady, don't you? D11 5X. Eddie Hearn is the best promoter in the game. He has already put on one pay-per-view with White Pavilion without fans, and we have 3 more pay-per-views to look forward to in the next 2 months. He's up there. Um, Bob Arams is too old, and he's tripping, but everyone has their stars, and like PBC, Al Heyman, he has the welterweight division. Uh, Eddie Hearn has heavyweight and some middleweights. Uh, Oscar De La Hoya has Canelo and Garcia. ESPN has Loma and Bud. So everyone has their star cards. You know, that's their ace in their deck, right? So everyone has that. But Eddie Hearn, he's doing well, but he's doing that because he's staying busy, staying talking shit, staying on the camera, and he's not fucking over people. Okay, so Don King, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya, you know, these guys have had problems with their fighters. Okay, financial problems, and that's a fact. I mean, when have you heard problems from Eddie Hearn not paying someone? You haven't heard that. And even Eddie will boast and tell you, "Well, I don't know what that's like. I don't have any payment problems." So that's good. The picture of the stream is legend. Hell yeah, Chris. I've seen it. I'm like, yo, I'm using that as the thumbnail. People are suggesting Tyson could still mix it up in the heavyweight now. What's your opinion? Chris, we'll see with Tyson. Because I think if Tyson beats Wilder, then he fucks around Joshua. I don't think he'll fight Joshua again. That's my honest opinion. I don't even think he'll fight. I think Tyson Fury gets that win. I've beat Joshua the bodybuilder. I've beat Wilder the basketball player. I asked no one else to fight. The rest of them are bums. And I'm out here. I'm fighting on the WWE. I'm going to make money for me and my family. I don't have to fight him again to prove that I'm the best. You do it one time. I fought Klitschko one time. I did not have to prove anything else to anyone. And he won't. And you know what? That sounds like some classic Tyson Fury shit. That's it. Some classic Tyson Fury shit. Unless he gets in his mid-30s, gets fat again, gets on drugs again, and all that stuff. And then, he has to climb up from someplace. See, if he was already there, I think Tyson needs some small goals. So I think it's not a good idea for Tyson Fury to get to a certain plateau, because when he does, I think it could be very, very dangerous for him. If the mental illness is true, which I don't doubt, but then, because I don't want to play with people's mental state. But then again, there are such things, fucking lions, right? There's Boxing Live on the UK, O'Hara and Tony McKenna. Yeah. See, the thing is, I think they have a Sky Sports app. I'm going to check my Roku because I have a Roku. So if they have it, I'm going to watch it. Fury and Joshua are scared of Usyk. That's why a new division between CW and HW has been proposed to keep Usyk away from them. If I'm Usyk, I wouldn't accept it. If I'm Wilder, I wouldn't accept it. Because, that a lot of people are trying to do that. And then what they're trying to do, trying to make a cushion or an alternative for Wilder if he loses. But if I'm Wilder, I wouldn't take that shit. I hit too hard. Yeah, he's a tall, slender dude, but he can hang in there with the rest of those guys. He could probably beat some of them. You think if Wilder lands that right hand against someone like White, you think he won't knock him out? With the style that Wilder has? Wilder's not going to give White anything. White's going to have to work that jab and watch out for that right hand. Because the way, if you notice Dillian White, the way he throws jabs, it's a good delivery, but he doesn't have a proper foundation. His legs are all over the place. And if he gets caught and gets counterpunched by a right hand from Wilder, he may go down. So, now what White do? If White gets on the inside, that's a totally different story. But he's going to have to create those openings, get up under that right hand like somebody like Tyson Fury. Can White do that? These are real questions, unbiased questions. These are questions that the possibilities of things actually happening in the fight. Not who I like, not who I favor, not who's cool, not none of that. What'll happen when these guys get in the ring together? Okay? That's it. A shout out to you from North Africa, Morocco. What do you think about McGregor versus Pac-Man? Do you think the sport of boxing is in need of it? No, I don't. That's a money grab. That's what I think of Pac-Man. Pac-Man saying, I like the money. I'm going to be president of the Philippines and I want to fight McGregor because the money. So I can help my people and I like to fight. The PBC are a brand and they are selling their product, not putting out the best around, putting out their best around. It's business. They aren't trying to promote other people's content. They absolutely, you're right. Jambo, Brown, you are absolutely, positively right on the money. And that's what they're doing. But I just think it's one-sided. I think a little acknowledgement is respectful. I know it's a business. I know they're promoting their fighters. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. But don't pretend like other fighters don't exist. That's all I'm saying, Jumbo. What's the story with Wilder? Has he surfaced yet? Yeah, he surfaced. He's in Miami, or he was, and he's training. So that's where Wilder. That's the status on Wilder. In your opinion, how does the Zone get more subscribers? Should they expand their brand, for example, in Nigeria? They should. I think the Zone should be more available with the perks that they presented us with over here. Then they will get more content, more coverage, especially from in Nigeria, because Anthony Joshua, he's by way of of Britain, by way of Nigeria. So his parents, so he has Nigerian blood. He's Nigerian by his parents, through his parents, first generation uh, uh, Nigerian, British, right? So yeah, people love him in Nigeria, so it will sell. That's a great recommendation. The Zone should consider that. In your opinion, how? Okay, Wilder has no excuse now. Now his fight is Fury in 2021, so that so-called dent in his head should be healed by now. No more glove gate. Man, look. Glove gate, glove gate, glove gate. Let me tell you something. Glove gate is only popular because it's controversial. If it wasn't popular, people wouldn't make videos about it. People watch the videos. It's an interesting topic because it stirs up controversy, right? Possibilities of that actually happening, and people like controversy. You know what I mean? It's like people like that for the same reason they like unsolved mysteries and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it brings up intrigue, you know, possibilities, you know, controversies, those type of things that makes you think like maybe he did do that, maybe he did cheat, those type of things. But what they really do, they want to create doubt. They want to create doubt, and when you create doubt, you take away credibility. When you take away credibility, you don't look at the win being as good as it is. But here's the bad thing about that. If they take away the credibility of Fury, then the victory, if Wilder wins, it won't be as sweet. Some of them will boast to say it is. See, he cheated. See, he cheated. You know, because I see what the reason behind it. But people are making it because they're, hey, go ahead and plug it up in that table. Okay, good. All right, go back inside. So what it is, it's like people are actually uh, believing that type of stuff. So if he does win, it will then come out like, okay, great. You know, Glovegate was real. See, I told you. So again, but if he loses, it's not good. See you got your channel back. Chris W. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Women's boxing is handbags at 10 paces. None of them have real skill. I don't want to say that. I mean, I think women, though, it was a lot popular back in the day. Like Mia St. John, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, those kind, they elevated the sport of women boxing. I don't think that the platform, I don't think boxing is as big as it used to be then for them to have their showcase. Because if you notice, like on those old pay-per-views back in the day, you always had a woman on the undercard, like always. Like there was always like an undercard for women.
Okay, I closed the door and then
Close the door.
and then after I saw like
If I can travel back, I want to see Joe Frazier live fights. Yo, that's crazy, man. It's crazy stuff. Because I think about that shit all the time, like stuff like that. Yo, I would go see a live fight in the 40s. You know what I mean? Go see a fight in the 40s, and like see Rocky Marciano knock someone out, or Joe Louis, or Jack Johnson, or Jack Dempsey. You know what I mean? And I think boxing was more brutal. Jack Dempsey. You know what I mean? And I think boxing was more brutal back then. I mean, they literally had like the type of gloves they had. It looked like sandbags, right? And that horsehair. And like they say a lot of fighters would do teeth in the ring and then, embedded in the glove and all that shit. So yeah, you would be like, damn, that's crazy. I love Wilder into the fire with the fireman jacket. Yeah, he can move. And the fireman jacket is a different meaning now, because if he never said that, he should have slapped JD's for saying that though. You know what I mean? He should have slapped him for saying that. Like, yo, why'd you tell him that the shit was a little heavy? That makes me look weak. Michael Stacy, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. White beats Wilder 90% of the time, but guess what? Just like 95, 97% of the time, Dillian White was whooping Povetkin too, wasn't he? And Povetkin knocked his ass out. We got a super chat. D-Town Blast, about time. What's up, brother? Hope things are well. Man, everything's great. I'm just enjoying this beautiful day. Little wind blowing a little bit, But everything's good, man. Appreciate your super chat, D-Town Blaster. Get back on Tekken so we can mix it up. Gene Tunney did it before. Yeah, like with the teeth. Buddy Gunner with the teeth. Yeah, man, those were real fights back then, man. I mean, not saying they're fake now, but someone's tooth get knocked out, someone gets their jaw broken, things like that. Guys like Victor Ortiz, my jaw's broken, man, the dog kicked the kid. When Josito Lopez broke his jaw, yeah, that's crazy. He didn't want to fight no more after that. But someone like Ali got his jaw broke. He still continued. When not Frazier, but Ken Norton broke his jaw. He kept fighting. Those are the type of people that you had back then. Real hardcore, dedicated people, driven people. Hey, it's just a jaw. It'll heal back. I'll fix it after the fight's over. I'll drink. I'll eat a lot of soup. Twerking in Miami. Man, that shit's crazy. I seen what's the cat's Ty Booth's video, and that shit had me laughing, because Ty Booth, he has to say everything twice. Yeah, what the Wilder fucking twerking videos. Deontay Wilder fucking twerking videos. This shit's disgusting, isn't it? Fucking disgusting, isn't it? And he kept showing the clip of Wilder jiggling his ass. I was like, dude, I was done. When I seen that shit, I was like, wow. You know, that exotic dancer shit. You know what I mean? Muhammad, you don't need power. Tyson Fury is known as Pillow Fist. Yep. Ty Booth, yeah, that dude's crazy. Yeah, I was looking at Wilder. He's a hard puncher, but he likes twerking in his nasty videos. Absolutely disgusting, isn't it? Grab the wine glass. Echo Forbes. He probably gets drunk and shit, and then turns on the video and just start talking random shit. Then fuck around, his channel be shut down for something he said. Is kind of like people like, whoa, you know, because I mean he's been shut down. They shut his channel down, but I mean, who am I to talk? But you know, my shit was damn near there. So, but you know, yeah, they shut Tywin Booth, freedom of speech, my ass, right? Not there, not with him. I agree with Eddie Hearn when he said Joshua will knock Fury out. I asked for your counterpunch on it about a month ago and said he would do it if he keeps ripping to the body with early shots. It would be a good fight. Hopefully it happens. Echo Forbes. You know Coogan. Coogan's legs is a little bent, aren't they? He likes always talking about Coogan. I'm like, dude, you better leave those dudes alone, man. You know? Tells me to be safe. Coogan tells me to be safe. You think Wilder is training to fight on the back foot to mix it up with Fury? He better, because if he doesn't learn how to, he's gonna get beat. Fury's gonna come in there and run right over him. See, it's like this. Let's look. I always like to use this example, and I'm using it again. You had Sugar Shane Mosley unbeaten, 38-0, going against another unbeaten welterweight, which was Vernon Forrest, right? Vernon Forrest whooped his ass. Bigger, longer, stronger. Beat him up. He had his number. He already beat him before. He knew how to beat him. Okay, he beat him in the amateurs. That's why Mosley didn't go to the Olympics, because Vernon Forrest beat him out. When they came into the professional rankings and they came to fight, he beat him again. And guess what? He fought him again, and he beat him again. And I was thinking that back then, you know, Sugar Shane Mosley, man, you know, nobody ain't gonna whoop Sugar Shane. Guys like Fernando Vargas was skeptical about fighting him. Fernando wanted to fight Trinidad over Sugar Shane. Sugar Shane was that fast. The dude punched hard as hell. He punched with really bad intentions. He had those blinding hand speed, fast, quick combinations. And he was a beast. But that beast got taken out. Okay? So, to apply that to Tyson Fury and Wilder, Fury already fought Wilder. So he knew what he had. He knew he had one hell of a punch. He knew he was dangerous because he had that one hell of a punch. But he also seen the flaws. He also seen, hey, I know what this guy can do. I know what this guy will do. So what did Tyson Fury do? He took his ass in there, knowing what he knew in the second fight, and took it to Wilder. Because he knew, okay, I know what to do with this guy, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show people what I'm going to do. Why do you think he was so confident that he was going to get a knockout? Remember he said, I'm going to knock you out in 2 rounds, you bum, you dosser, you bum. And he said that because he already knew. All right, and I know what his habits are. I know what Wilder's habits are, and I'm going to exploit him. See, a lot of people don't talk about this. You can talk about Glovegate, but you can't talk about what the fuck happened in that fight. That's a problem. You can talk about a million excuses, but what happened in the fight? So, applying what Vernon Forrest did to Sugar Shane Mosley twice, and look at Tyson Fury. If he goes in there and beats Wilder, is it over for Wilder? No, it ain't over for Wilder. But Wilder knows I can't fight someone like that. You know, fighting someone like that or fighting somebody like that with that type of style without me changing up my game plan is dangerous. It's dangerous. And if he doesn't learn, he's going to learn the hard way. And it's just something that he won't be able to do. But will that mean he'll never win again? Yeah, he'll win again. He might not lose another fight after that until he steps up to someone that knows what to do with the style that Deontay Wilder has, like Tyson Fury knew how to do. Okay, let's look at it this way. Even if Tyson Fury didn't have the punching power, he would still have won the fight based on the way he attacked Wilder. Because Wilder could not fight when Fury came inside and landed those blows and he wrapped up. The only thing Wilder could not do, you can see it, he didn't create space. He didn't step back to give himself distance to land the right hand with Fury. Because Fury was coming right at him. Fury was Sean Portering Deontay Wilder. That's what he was doing. He was bull rushing him. That's exactly what he was doing. AJ wins against Fury 100%. Hey, it's a bold statement. You know, I'm like, show me. Vargas was never the same after Trinidad. Word of the day, he was not. You are absolutely, positively right. He was never the same. In fact, he fought another, I think a Puerto Rican fighter, right? Wasn't Ramirez, wasn't he from Puerto Rico? And got caught with a flush right hand and he just went down. You know what I mean? And Ramirez wasn't a hard-hitting guy. I know he got beat by De La Hoya once before, but he wasn't known for power. And that just shows you that he was still shell-shocked. When you start getting knocked out, the way Fernando Vargas, see, not only was Vargas knocked out, Vargas was beat round after round. He gave it a go. He gave it a really good effort. You got to give you credit to Vargas. And he got his own knockdown in the fourth round. But Vargas took an ass beating, and that Vargas fought, the way Vargas fought is the way any fighter that never lost should fight. That's why taking your first L is very dangerous. Okay, because you don't know the limit of when to say enough is enough. So you can be hurt. Vargas was hurt. He was down 5 times. And these just weren't accumulation blows. Not with Trinidad. Hell to the no. He got caught, left hook, bow, down. First round. Another left hook, bow, down. Right? 12th round. Left hook, bow, down. I mean, he got caught with a perfect left hook. Like that Anthony Joshua Ruiz shit. When Anthony Joshua caught Ruiz, there was a perfect right on the button. It made Vargas, you know, he made his face and fucking cheeks jiggle when he got caught. He did not see that punch. And he was trying to throw his own left hook. Don't hook with a hooker. Trinidad's a hooker. All right? Vargas had a pretty good left hook. In fact, the knockdown in the 4th round was from a hook. He caught Trinidad with. Trinidad was going low with a left hook to the body, and he was coming upstairs, and he beat Trinidad. And Trinidad went down. You could tell Trinidad was kind of shook. Okay? Now, a lot of people would say that the hand wraps. What about the hand wraps? But a lot of people would say that Trinidad went low to give himself time. You know, a lot of people argued that. I mean, those punches were low. And he took points. Jay Nady did. That was the referee in that fight. He took points away from Trinidad. I saw that fight at least 20 times, guys. So I know it backwards and forwards. So, but it was a great fight. But right, Vargas was never the same after that. No one even thinks of race in these fights. Or am I just colorblind in this? Well, J Hef, that's a good way to look at it. Just take the color out of it. He said you don't need skills. He did say that, Buddy Gunner. He said with power you don't need skill. I got these. This is my skill. And I have the will to show you this skill. To this day. I always felt that something was up with Trinidad's gloves. No, well, the thing was his hand. It was his hand wraps, and look. Let me counterpunch you. Word of the day. Okay, first off. Trinidad was nothing wrong with his gloves. The wraps in the state of New York. Okay, you couldn't wrap them that way. He didn't have no fucking plaster of Paris. He didn't have anything illegal. The way he wrapped them, that was not acceptable in New York. That's it. That's all. It wasn't any Margarito or Resto shit. And, you have to be careful on who you throw in that circle. Oh, with the low blows. Yeah. Yeah, ball breaker. That's good, man. You think of race, I think of the sport. I think of the sport too. Hey, Kirk, glad to see your channel back, brother. I'm subscribed to both platforms. Good. Please shout out to my fiance, Stephanie Preston, who's watching now. Thanks, bro. Stephanie Preston, counterpunch to you. I hope you guys have a great day, you and Ashley. Counterpunch. Greg Reed, why Wilder and his team can't admit he got beat? I think it's more in the intrigue and it's selling the third fight. And then plus who wants to say that, hey, I lost, But if you really look at the psyche of Wilder, I think Wilder, he's about positivity, so he doesn't want, I don't think the last thing he wants to hear that he lost, I think, like he said in an interview, I want positive people around me. I don't want negative energy, right? So negative energy you could say negative energy would be, hey man, you lost. So I think out of sight is out of mind. So if you don't really mention it, if you don't speak it, you won't believe it, so you won't receive it. Oh man. Campbell versus Garcia will be interesting. It will be. And I was looking at Campbell the other day. And you know what worries me about Campbell, though? Campbell has the experience. But what worries me about Campbell is his speed. That advantage will be for Ryan. Because Ryan is good because he knows he has speed. And he can catch you with those quick-ass left hooks when you don't see them coming. And the punch you don't see is the punch that will hurt you. So there is hope for Ryan Garcia. I just see he's a tall, longer fighter, and how will he deal with somebody like Ryan? But really, how will Ryan deal with him? I do want to know what he will do with the punching power. Tell Marcelos to get the autopsy for us. That's impossible. That's for dead people. Sorry. Unless they pronounce them dead or some silly shit like that. Yeah, he shouldn't have used that terminology, though. I mean, that, even if he felt that was true, he used the wrong terminology. And if you heard someone say that, I think you were watching the wrong show. Stay away from those criminal investigating shows where somebody got killed, like Murder Chose Me or some shit. You was probably watching it. The autopsy said that my brother had, no, you were watching fucking Murder Chose Me or some shit like that. Stop watching those, Ryan Garcia, class act, he'll win on points. Okay. Positive statements for Ryan Garcia, the young buck, the young wolf. I want to see how Ryan takes punches. Be interesting. Camel got enough skill to land. Yeah, I want to see that too. I do really, really want to see that fight. But I want to see that Lomachenko and Lopez fight more. What do you think about Tyson Fury wanting to fight the real baddest man on the planet? Stipe Neo Kick. Fury proposed they fight with boxing gloves in the octagon. Look, Tyson Fury's doing Mayweather shit. You know, I got 8% of battery life, so gonna have to cut this short. But to counterpunch that, Tyson Fury's just following in Mayweather's footsteps. You know, in fact, I just did a video about it. I'm about to upload it now. If there was a dent, no credible doctor would let Wilder ever fight again, right? Unless it was like a deformity, or it was always there. Lopez should KO him. My feeling. Kurt, are you going for Chisora or Usyk? I want to see what Usyk can do. I'm not going for or against, because as we know about older fighters, they're credible, just as credible as anybody else. You know, so if he wins, hey, great for him, good for him. And I'll be sure to interview him, win, lose, or draw. Always a heavyweight UFC champion. Fury would get chewed up. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know who that is. So I got to look him up. And, you know. What do you think about Russell and Haney not happening? A lot of backwards and forths. I mean, typical shit from PBC. I think Gary Russell, and this is the last one I'm going to cover because I'm like at 5%. Gary Russell was that guy. He was that wild card over there at the PBC. He was that guy that chose or claimed that he wanted to fight the best guys. And due to the reputation that the PBC has, he should have been that guy to make or to change people's perception of the PBC. So all that backwards and forwards shit only just leads us to think like, hey, PBC fighters don't fight other fighters. And it's sad, you know, and it shouldn't be that way. And, you know, Gary Russell should have been that guy that said, hey, okay, I'm the PBC, I'll fight this guy. And it shouldn't be like every blue moon you have a PBC fighting some other fighter, right? I think they should be more open to fighting the people from other networks and not pretend they're on a damn island and it's only the people they can fight from that island. Dude, you got 4 or 5 other islands out there that you need to go and conquer, right? So I think in the grand scheme of things, Gary Russell is just showing, just making that narrative or that stereotype true about PBC fighters. I think he should have been more open. I think, you know, instead of all that shit talk, because that's all it is at the end of the day. There's no fight happening. A bunch of shit. Yo, shawty, I'm going to beat your ass, shawty. I'm going to take your belt, shawty. I'm going to whoop your ass, shawty. Believe it. We can't believe that now, right? Because nothing happened, right? There's a bunch of backwards and forwards, a bunch of fucking shit talk. And Gary Russell Jr., because he does talk a lot of shit about his promotional company, will fight once a fucking year probably until he retires. Counterpunch. But anyway, guys, been fun. Everybody on the chat, thank you guys for coming on. Yeah, you're right. Gary Russell should have signed with DAZN. I agree. He would have had more opportunities over there because, you know, DAZN, you know, they are Matchroom or whatever. Will fight an ESPN fighter, and you do see that. You know, of course, Golden Boy and Matchroom, you know, they get it on sometimes. So those fights are more likely to happen. So I think Gary Russell should have decided to go and live on another island. That's my counterpunch, guys. You guys tell me what you think. Everybody on the chat, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll do another live screening, probably the same time, around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. Everybody has been counterpunched. Peace.